heading out on vacation in the summer means that you have to do a little bit of planning ahead and make a few judgment calls about your landscape and your lawn and your yard in general before you go. So mostly that's going to mean, what are you going to do with your lawn? Well, your lawn usually will not need too much if you're just going away for a week or even 2. Most lawns are going to survive that unless you live in a really hot, high extreme heat area, a really arid area, or if your soil is really poor and it can't hold enough moisture for a 2-week period. If you know your lawn and you know it just can't go that long, then you probably need to enlist the help of somebody who can come turn some sprinklers on, maybe midweek or after a week or so. But in general, if you water your lawn really well before you go, or if you've had consistent rain and you don't need to worry about it, if you've had enough natural water, enough natural rain, say around 1 inch a week, then that's not something you really need to worry about. Now mine, my judgment call is going to be, I might probably mow it a little bit high because I don't usually have too much issue with burning lawns where I live. But again, some of that will depend on where you live. There's a couple of schools of thought on that. One is that don't mow it at all because, growing grass that's not cut and not kind of trying to seal off those wounds is less apt to burn and dry out anyway. There's more moisture in it. Not to say it might not get a little wilty or crispy by the end of your vacation, but it should snap right back if you come back and water it. As far as your landscape plants, kind of the same deal with them. When we talk landscape plants, we usually mean more perennial types or things that are at least planted in the ground, even if they're annuals. Usually they need 1 to 2 inches of water a week. So when you're watering your lawn, again, before you go, the night before, the morning of, give it a good dose of deep water if you think it's going to need it, and let it go. And do the same with your landscape plants and they should be in good shape. Another thing you can do for your plants is to make sure they're mulched. Mulching is going to help keep the weeds down, but it's also going to help retain that soil moisture. Now I do have different areas in my yard too. You can see there's a lot of rock down in this particular area of lawn, and we have different patches around of new grass. So those are places that I'll probably mow the rest of it. I might mow it a little bit higher than normal, but these places I might actually skip them and just leave them for the week. We've got some clover in flower. That's going to help support the bees and the pollinators. It's just a week of my time that maybe things look a little shaggier for this week, but they're going to survive my time away, and they're not going to be so out of control when I come back that I can't get back at them. So, everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different. Some people are going to prefer to err on the side of cutting short to give it more room to grow, but you're really only going to want to do that if you think the weather and the rain that's coming can support it. And on that note, one final note is, do that. Check your forecast before you go. Your forecast will tell you what you've got coming up for rain. It'll tell you are we looking at 2 weeks of dry period and you haven't got anyone here to water it? Well, then you probably should leave things alone. But, if you're looking at a week of normal or even above normal rains, then go ahead and cut that back. Nothing else is going to happen in the time that you're away. So the nice things about lawns and landscapes is that they usually take more than, say, our average vegetable or flower bed can take, and they don't require quite as much babying for us, and you should be able to go off and enjoy that vacation without having to worry too much about your lawn. Have a great summer vacation.